o'clock item. What number was that, Mr. McMillan?
644.
There we go. Okay, item 4, hold a public hearing at 6 p.m. as a result of notice provided to the owners of properties described below, ordering said owners to show cause as to why the structures on said properties should not be condemned. Mr. Robinson.
Good evening. Our first structure on the agenda tonight is 7828 Mississippi Avenue. This is in the Hayes area, and we're recommending that this one house be condemned and removed in 30 days.
That's you. Move to recommend it being demoed in 30 days.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Latour and a second by Mr. Hunter for the property be condemned and removed in 1 day. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak?
30 days.
How many days?
Monday.
Did I say 1 day, Monday?
1 day.
30 days.
Let's put it on Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. Sounds like a furniture commercial or something we got going on there. Oh, blame that on you? That's nice of you, Hal. I don't think I can, huh? Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on 7828 Mississippi Avenue in the Hayes area?
Oh, there it is.
Okay, seeing none, we had the motion and the second to condemn. Any further discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carries.
It's in between you.
Go ahead, Mr. Robinson.
Okay, the next one is going to be 1316 and 1425 Highway 108 East. These structures are in the Corliss area. It's 2 houses. The owner is a LCB Properties LLC. We recommend both of these structures be condemned and removed in 30 days.
Move to discuss on this item.
Okay, we have a motion to discuss by Mr.
Second.
Farnum. Got a second by Mr. Barris. Mr. Farnum.
I'd like to call the representative for that property up.
Sir, if you would state your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, sir. Joe Ellender, 1521 Cypress Street, Sulphur, Louisiana, 70663.
Thank you for being here, sir.
If you could, give us a little background on what your plans are for that property.
Yes, sir, Mr. Farnum. We're presently under contract with a developer to sell that property. It has some stipulations, and we're trying to work through that. And our purchase agreement has been held up because we're dealing with a third party also for a right-of-way agreement. And it's gotten a little sticky, and we're trying to work through that. We concur with the parish that these 2 structures do need to be torn down and will be torn down. The exception is our developer, upon purchasing, is going to do that. And we would like to ask for more time if at all possible. These 2 structures are on a 76-acre tract in an industrial area. This property is, should I say, ripe for development and is about to be developed, but we just like more time to seal the deal. And this property, these 2 structures will be torn down in the near future. So we'd like to ask for 60 to 90 more days to facilitate that if at all possible.
I guess, I don't have a problem with the 60 days. I just want to make sure that we have some mechanism put in place that at the end of the 60-day period, if this contract hadn't gone forward, that we still have a method of getting these things torn down because they are in disrepair and bad eyesore in that area. I guess maybe, Sam, if there's a recommendation, if we condemn these things tonight and they do move forward with the sale of this property, it carries to any property owner that does acquire in the future, correct?
The condemnation order would still be in effect,
Okay.
but you can place stipulations on it 60 days.
And if the sale goes through and the company moves forward with doing them within that 60 days, we just can rescind the condemnation, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess, and I agree with everything you've said, and I appreciate you considering this, but try to be realistic and be honest with you all. If we could close in 60 days, the new owner, in all likelihood, it's gonna take him 30 days to
Well, you can come
get a
back.
contract, and, you know, I don't want to tell you tonight we'd have it down in 60 days. I'm trying to close the deal in 60 days, and the new owner and his development is definitely going to remove these.
So if we get to that point that in 60 days that the sale has gone through, but they haven't, they can come up here and ask for an extension at that point, right?
Sure.
And it doesn't cost anything to do that, it's just a matter of filing for an extension, correct?
I would second that motion.
That'd be great. I appreciate your consideration.
That would be my motion, that we defer, we move forward with condemnation, but we give it a 60-day window.
Thank
That's
you
my
very much.
motion.
And so they'll just come back in 60 days, if
If they,
not done. Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Farnum, a second by Mr. Anderpont, but we still have some more discussion. Mr. Barris.
Thank you, Mr. President. You know, one of the things I think is very important, these folks have not sold this land, so at this point, they would have to incur the cost on the condemnation, you know, when they know that it's going to happen, that someone else is going to do it. So I just wanted to throw that in there.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Barris. Mr. Hunter?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Gabb, is it possible that if we move to condemn a property, that might create issues with someone that wants to purchase the property?
if there's going to be a certain closing, yes, it'll be a red flag on closing, but
I would hate for us to complicate this gentleman's attempts at selling his property. I'll yield to whatever Mr. Farnum thinks is appropriate, but I would hate for anything we do tonight to prevent him from having an easy transition of selling his property. I yield. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Is there any further discussion?
Let me
Mr. Farnum.
have a little more discussion on that if you would.
You have the floor, sir.
All right. You
it
think it
depends.
would complicate the issue?
It could. I don't know
Would
what-
a deferral in its entirety for 60 days work better in this situation?
It may make it cleaner. I don't know what agreement they have between the buyer and seller in this situation. They may have already discussed this and it may not be an impediment. I don't know.
I guess if Joe could come back up. Does the purchaser know about the fact that these were up for condemnation?
Yes, sir.
And do they have any kind of issue with it?
Not at all. That, again, it's going to, both these homes are going to be demolished, and the site, the total site's going to be improved for the future development. And so it's all in the works, and the engineering has been done, but we're trying to work through a few hurdles.
They've actually made the promise that, I guess, going along with the fact that they were gonna be torn down, whether you do them or they do them.
Exactly, and
So it may affect the actual sale price to some extent, but
just a timing issue, and yes, of course, the present owners would like to defer if they could.
okay. Well, I will adjust my motion to defer for 60 days instead of moving forward to condemnation.
I'll withdraw the second
And second it.
and re-second.
Okay, so we have a new motion on the floor to defer for 30 days. So we're not.
60 days.
60 days. We're not condemning at this point. And a second by Mr. Anderpont. Vice President McMillan.
Hey, Joe, real quick, you do know these have to be torn down, and if something in the sale falls through, you're going to get them torn down?
Yes,
We
sir.
can kind of get your word on record on that.
Without a doubt, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. Item C. Go ahead, Mr. Robinson.
It's going to be 2861 Watts Road. This is in the Moss Bluff area. It's one manufactured home. The owner of record is a John Wayne Watts. We recommend this structure be condemned and removed in 30 days.
I couldn't really see much on that picture.
Could we have the
Could you
picture
show a
come
picture?
back? Mr. Hafer?
There.
Thank you. That does look like the first one. Same color anyway.
Well, I'm not really sure what to say on this. Is this vacant?
Yes, ma'am, it's vacant. All the windows are busted out, and it's pretty much open to the public.
Okay. Have you talked to the owners of the property?
No, ma'am, I haven't. They have signed for their, for all of their letters that we've sent them, and they are out-of-state owners, and they haven't made any effort to contact us.
And you send them, they sign for them?
Yes,
You send
ma'am.
them certified?
Yes, ma'am.
When you send the letter, on the letter, does it say on the letter that if we have to take the structure down and out, that it will be, the cost of that will be added to their tax bill?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, that's clearly said?
Yes.
Okay, I move for the recommendation of staff.
Second.
Mr. Robinson, is there some way that Mr. McMillan could buy that vacuum cleaner and that mattress that we saw? He seemed to be interested in it.
Well, I can give him the address of the owner. And see if I can fix him up.
If you would, save that, and after the meeting, put him in touch with him.
Clearly don't need a key.
All right.
We have it did, it really did.
He would have to
I don't know
recuse
that-
himself from the vote. Though, before he-
Oh, I don't know that the vacuum had been used, so it could be like new. We got a motion by Ms. Trimmy and a second by Mr. Scott. Any further discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. Item D.
All right, this is 6676 Roy Araby Road. This is in the LeBlue settlement area. One manufactured home. The owner is a Dwayne Dunaway, Edux. We recommend this structure be condemned and removed in 30 days.
Move to condemn.
Second.
We'll have a motion by Mr. Latour to condemn and a second by Mr. Hunter. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on this item? 6676 Roy Araby Road in the Blue Settlement. Is there anyone in the audience? Seeing none, we had a motion and a second. Any discussion, any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. Item E.
3607 St. Raphael Lane. This is in the North Sulphur area. It's one house. The owner is a Joseph Clifford Cormier Jr. Edux. We recommend this structure be condemned and removed in 30 days.
Give me a second. Or two.
Second.
Oh, okay. Now I see.
So do we have a motion?
Yes, we do.
We have a motion by Ms. Trimmy, second by Mr. McMillan. That was to condemn and remove within 30 days.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't know if they can do that in 30 days, but that looks like a huge project for a 30-day job.
Oh, they can go out there with
We
a,
give them 60 on that?
oh yeah, they can go out there with a track hoe and wipe that out in a day.
One day.
Probably less than a day.
Was the inside gutted from the fire? Is that what happened?
That's what it looked like.
Okay.
Might be. Okay, do we have anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on E, 3607 St. Raphael Lane in the North Sulphur area? Seeing no one, had a motion by Ms. Trimmy, second by Mr. McMillan. Any further discussion, any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. F, Mr. Robinson.
This is 3402 Caton Road in the Westlake area. It's one manufactured home. The owner is a Eva Laverne Gilry. We recommend this structure be condemned and removed in 30 days.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. McMillan, a second by Mr. White to condemn and remove in 30 days. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on item F, 3402 Caton Road in Westlake area? Seeing no one, we had the motion and the second. Any further discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. G.
This is 314A Decker Street. This is in the East Lake Charles area. It's one manufactured home. The owner is Eva Papillon, and we recommend this structure be condemned and removed in 30 days.
Move to condemn and remove in 30 days.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Collins to condemn and remove in 30 days, second by Mr. Farnham. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on item G, 314A Decker Street in East Lake Charles area? Seeing no one, we have any further discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Okay, let's see. I think now we need another motion to go back into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Have
So
a
moved.
second by
Second.
Mr. Brame, and a motion by Mr. Brame, second by Mr. Farnum.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good job.